One of the hardest hit areas, High Street in Portsmouth.
Now here along High Street in Portsmouth, Ohio.
Flooding taking over High Street in Portsmouth, Ohio.
So we need water. We need water to flush our toilets. We need water to drink. We just need water.
Morning. Well, the pump is not running, but it did run. It's supposed to be real foggy today. That's what my wife just told me, and that's not good semi or box truck driving. See, if you're that guy that kept correcting me and calling me out, see, you stuck around long enough and you got me. You got me. I admitted to it. Believe it or not, I love you guys. There's another roll of dumpster truck, 2 of them. Believe it or not, I love you guys. I really do. I seen somebody last night talking out of the side of his neck about my situation and how my pool is draining into that lady's. Oh, bro's doing, man, what's bro doing? Well, it turns out that bro's drain, if I put my pool on discharge to drain, comes out that same place, bub. And that only tells me that you fared really well in this. You fared so well through this storm that you feel comfortable to talk shit, right? And that's fine. That's fine. Just make sure that you thank God that you did fare so well. So far, so good on the fog. Usually the bridge would be the foggiest point, but I'd say with all the water everywhere, the river's way up. I guess a news crew was in our town. I seen somebody from the news out front of my house. Big old nice camera. I started to go ask her questions about it and mess with her, but if situation was different, I would have went out there and talked to her and tried to get Gotcha Man on the news. But, you know, when you're trying to assess the damage in your home, you're not really in the mood, if you know what I mean. I think we've got everything kind of dried up and discarded of, but the strange thing is, and I'm hoping this isn't as serious as my worrying brain thinks it is, but every door in the house doesn't want to shut right. And it could just be like high humidity in the air just causing the wood to kind of swell a little bit, which is the most likely scenario, not what my crazy brain tells me, which, oh, it weakened the foundation because all the flood water in your house is crooked now and it's going to fall apart. They're going to condemn it. And I'm going to lose out on the $40,000 I've spent on it already. But let's not. Let's play a good song and let's get to the shop so I can get this pre-trip done. So the fog situation has changed, for sure. Yeah, I'm glad to be back at work. Yeah. Definitely an interesting morning too, and I've decided not to pick up the camera until just now. Yeah, I decided not to pick it up until just now, until it got a little bit more daylight, the fog cleared up, because, you know, when your wife says, hey, there's fog, I'm really nervous with you driving that truck. You don't want her to then turn on YouTube and see you driving it, fiddling around with the camera while you're trying to drive as well. But man, it was crazy coming up the road through all those different towns and counties and seeing the different levels of disaster from this flood and all this heavy rain that we've had. The main fuel station that I always fill up when I take this route was closed, so that was interesting. I almost ran out of fuel. I should have thought that through. I mean, of course things are to be closed, right? It's crazy the devastation that here in Ohio would be from a hurricane down south. I don't know. It just makes you think, for sure. But I wanted to pick this camera up real quick and yap into it for a couple reasons. Number one, if you're going to vlog every day, you got to remember to pick the camera up. And that's the scary thing about going back to work is it's hard to pick the camera up. But for another reason, here I am always trying to be the lighthearted guy, right? Always trying to be the jokey guy and trying to get a laugh out of somebody, even when they're going through something tough, just to try to lift their spirits up. And I couldn't take a joke this morning, right? Somebody called me, a friend of mine, and kind of co-worker, I guess, works with a sister company that I am affiliated with, and she's like, "Hey, did you swim to work today?" And at first I was like, you ever hear something that you're just not expecting to hear, so you can't quite comprehend what it is they're saying. I was like, what is it now? And it's loud in this truck. But she's like, "Did you swim to work?" And then I was like, and then I immediately got upset a little bit because I'm like, man, I sent her this picture right here of my street, and that was what she decided to say to me. Now, she's just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. She's just trying to, boost my spirits a little bit, make me feel a little bit better, and maybe put a smile on my face like I do all the time with other people. So I wasn't sure why it bothered me, and I need to apologize to her because I wasn't nice about it. I was like, yeah, that's not funny. But it turns out it was, right? I guess, I don't know. Maybe I just need to check the mood that I'm in, but I need to go in here and get an energy drink. My guy airbrushed that shit. That's actually pretty sick. Damn it, Bobby. Come on, that don't remind you of Hank? They do it different in Ohio, man, that's for sure. I think it says everything that needs to be said when the red cross is walking down your street that you live on. This is worse than a lot of people think it. Wow. So, didn't really get to film a whole lot today, so I gotta make up for it this evening, I guess. It's been one of them days, and I made the mistake of going online and looking up the local news. They're clip after clip after clip all about my street, all about the street that literally my neighborhood. There's newscasters, and you just see my house in the background. It's an odd feeling. I mean, it's a problem when Mike DeWine, the turtle guy, shows up on your street. And I promise, and I already feel it, like, all this guy's talking about the last couple of days is his house being flooded. And that's not what this is supposed to be about. And I apologize. And that's not what it's going to be about. I got to get out of this funk somehow. I got to get out of this, like, worry, like everything's falling apart type of mood. Because, like I said, it could always be worse. And I will figure it out. I always figure it out. I'm just probably going to have to use whatever revenue that I made from uploading every single day in September instead of putting an extra payment towards this pickup truck, which was kind of the whole goal to begin with. And you guys, surely you can see that through, right? I think there's a lot of you that are like, dude, I can see you already holding that title in your hand, and that video is going to be epic. Yeah, and that's the thing, as far as my notebook of plans for vlogs to keep them interesting. My plan was, because after tomorrow, my YouTube analytics will show me just exactly to the dollar, to the cents actually, how much I earned for the month of September. And I was going to break that down for you guys and show you guys, not only just to keep the transparency going and the real life thing going, open door, gotcha man, but who knows, there may be people out there that is truly considering doing this, and they can kind of gauge and get an idea of what a guy my size and the amount of views I get, how much that'll yield you. And you gotta know that every one of these videos since September 5th is when I started have been fully monetized except for two. There was the one video whenever I was on my way to Michigan. There was some music in there. I did not have time to do anything about it. Usually there's two options. You can cut that part out or you can replace whatever music was there with something that YouTube offers. And for anybody wondering, the beginning of this video, I was actually running around that old house back in 2019, I think it was, listening to Leonard Skinner, I Know a Little. So if you ever want to see what that video is supposed to look like with the right sound, play I Know a Little by Leonard Skinner at the very start of that video. And right as I kick the door is when I get off in the weeds quick, don't I? But anyway, that day in Michigan, that wasn't happening. And I need fuel, jeez. But that day in Michigan, as you know, it was late whenever I got the video uploaded, so I just ran with the no monetization on it. So there was that video, and then there was, of course, the critiquing video. I did not monetize that. Now, I could have monetized that, because all I was doing was just critiquing another YouTuber's, another, influencer video, whatever, just kind of playing a part of his, saying something about it, playing part of his. There was no music. But I already knew that's where people were going to go with it. Oh, you're trying to make money on the church ain't gonna give you It's the same one of you guys do every time. You guys are... Hey, so just 2 videos out of 20, it'd be 20 set. No, it'd be 26, because today, matter of fact, I need to upload today's video. And I told you guys that I'd be doing this on camera. It is 10 after 4. Upload. Handyman Frank might have actually fixed something, or he might actually had no luck fixing it at all. By the time you're seeing this, you will already know the answer to that. But yeah, I got to get out of this funk, guys. I got to get out of this crazy bad mood that I've been in. And I tell you what makes me feel good, always seems to do the trick, a burnout. You want to make that even better? You want to double up, huh? You want to biggie size that? Not only a burnout, but try to get this thing to go ahead and do a little revolution, a little spinny spin. I get about a 7.5. Not my greatest. I could turn the AC back on, huh? Not my greatest. Oh, you know what I just realized I did? I put in eco mode instead of sport. Idiot. It literally makes like 5 to 6 pounds less of boost in eco mode than it does in sport. Either way, like I said, about 7.5. My best work is always off camera somehow. I've had a lot of cool cars over the years. I broke a lot of cool cars. You know, it's one of the things, and I almost showed it on here, and I'm gonna have to be pretty desperate for content to ever show it on here. But like I said, over the years, I've had all these different ideas of how I was gonna make content and how I was gonna be relevant on YouTube. It was before I grew up, which I don't think I'm fully grown up, obviously. I'm just down there doing donuts in parking lot downtown for no reason whatsoever. Like I can afford tires if I busted one. I'm talking about less mature than I am at this moment. And just really didn't have a good... That was one of my biggest challenges, and it's one of the things that I think God has put on me to try to get these 2 young boys to understand that I'm raising now, is respect for other people's property, respect for other people's belongings, and I just didn't have it. Growing up, man, I was such a piece of crap, and this was no exception. And this wasn't, I mean, I was probably 30 years old when I thought this YouTube idea was going to take off. But my plan was, and I was working at the time, and I'm like, I'm going to do this thing called Test Drive Tuesday. And what I'm going to do is you guessed it, Tuesday, was going to go to a local car lot and test drive a car. Go and not be nice to it. And that's what I mean by respecting other people's stuff, right? Gonna go and roughhouse, do burnouts, If it's a 4x4, take it mudding, see how capable it is in the mud, and then go run it through a quick car wash afterwards so that they won't know. And I thought, man, I thought it was brilliant. Oh, dude, you couldn't. I thought, gotcha, man. You're so smart, dude. You're gonna be famous. And I don't know why nobody thought of this before. Nobody did, because they're not smart as you, gotcha. And it's so dumb. It's just blatantly tearing people's stuff up. Seriously asking to be charged with something, or, arrested, or if I was the guy that owned the car lot and managed to find the video and see it somehow, especially if it had all this success I was wanting it to have, then I would have come and found me and punched me in the mouth. That's how stupid I was. I thought that was, and I still have the videos. They're just privated. One of them's on this channel, one of them's on another channel that I created. Or a few of them on the other channel I created, I should say. Like I said, I have to be desperate to show the ones that I already have on YouTube that are only like 7 or 8 years old. Because let me check the statute of limitations. Got home from work, and some of you be surprised, some of you not, that I haven't, or to learn that I haven't, fixed that clean out yet. So I thought it'd be a good thing for me and the boy to come out and do. Since he didn't get to go with me to the cabin to hang out, maybe me and him will just hit up. Rural King should have it. If not, we'll go up to Lowe's. But Rural King should have it, right, Bubba? You want to go in here and get some plumbing supplies and help Daddy fix the pipe? You gotta stay with me. Okay? I can't believe how tall you're getting. But yeah, I was just talking to the neighbor for a second before I left the house, and she's talking about how, I guess, FEMA came through the neighborhood. There's been all kinds of attention on my street. And I guess FEMA said, you want to ride on this, Bubba? No, you don't want to ride on that. Come on, let's just walk. There's been all kinds of attention. And I guess they deemed it not a disaster enough to step in and do anything, when there's so many of us on that street. A lot of them are like total loss, and then there's houses like mine that can be cleaned up, but nobody's planning for that. We're not in a flood zone, so none of us have flood insurance. So that's a whole nother thing. As I was pulling out, WSAZ car was in my driveway, like turning around, trying to set up more cameras. And it does kind of make you feel like, when I was talking to my neighbor, the sheriff's wife, I was like, she's heated, but should she be that heated about the fact that all these people are on it, but not on it? But then it's weird, because when this WSAZ thing's turning around in my driveway and blocking me from being able to finally come up here and buy some plumbing supplies to fix my problem, it was the first time it clicked for me a little bit, where I was like, yeah, man, like, if you guys are going to clog up the neighborhood just to put your cameras on it, Bubba, this way, then the least you could do is help a little bit, right? Or get us some help. Daddy went the wrong way. Plumbing's down here. Come here. Hurry, hurry, hurry. You're not walking fast, you're just kicking your feet. Come on, pal. Anyway, poor guy. He probably doesn't want to follow me, because he's like, Daddy, you don't know where you're going anyway. Bubba, right here. Hey, right here. Yeah, there's the clean outs. I think we got everything we need, and we went ahead and got a furnace filter while we're at it, because I'd say we're probably filtering out a lot of the mold and stuff right now, and I just don't want to get all my family sick. I don't know, the smell when you walk in there, we probably shouldn't be breathing whatever that is in, but what do you do, right? Hey, you want to hold this? You want to hold this? You want to hold it? No? How many times did that? All right, that wasn't too bad, right? Except for this little scarecrow who wanted to run off on me. He just, And I get it. Who wants to watch? I mean, take a good look at me. Breathe this in. Who wants to watch a dude that looks like me sit and scratch his bald head through his hat and just look at plumbing and try to guess at it because he was too stupid to try to measure anything before he left? That describes me to a T, doesn't it, Bubba? Did Daddy open a door for you? Say, yeah, Dad. That'd be nice. Can you climb? Can you climb in there, buddy? Oh, God. Well, I guess you can. You're already all the way in there. I bet your mom's probably home from work by now and wondering where we are. I didn't message her and tell her that I was coming to do this. But then again, I was trying to also put it off another day. I drove by earlier and seen that my little kitchen rag was still covering the clean out, but let's be real, man. The least I can do is fix that clean out problem. You know what I'm saying? No. I love you, Baba. Honestly, I think between you and your mom, I should be able to be real successful, right? Because if I'm ever dry on content, you two beautiful beings can help me out. If we can get you talking one day, Bubba, I would love for you to say something to the viewers one day. Hey, talk about a bigger goal than getting that truck paid off. Let's get this little boy to talk. You know how much I would give to hear him say, you know, Daddy, or I love you, Daddy, or anything along those lines. Anyway, I wonder if I should bring him around back to see if he's even remotely interested in what this drain even does, or this cleanup for this drain even does. And I do want people to know too that I did knock on the lady's door that lives behind me, and I spoke to all the neighbors. Everybody's tried to find her, the one where the foundation caved in. And from what I can gather, everybody is saying that she just kind of packed up and left. She just, I don't think things were well prior to this. We've tried to speak to her in the past, and she was real, like, closed off. Me and my wife ran into her at her workplace one day, and like, you know, and then we put it together, like, oh, you live behind us, you're our neighbor. But I don't think she was doing real well with living in that house anyway. You would see her, when I would come home from work some days, she would just be sitting in her vehicle in front of the house for hours. I don't think she wanted to go in there. And at one point, the neighbor said she didn't have power, which was initially the first reason that we tried to reach out to her. But anyway, I don't know. People said she just packed up and left, which my neighbor's seriously concerned that her house is going to cave in and fall on our retaining wall, because me and my neighbor, the sheriff, we both share that same retaining wall. So I don't know, it's just sad. Somebody must have put a post in there temporarily, so somebody's worried about it actually falling in. That's good news. Hopefully that means somebody's trying to help her figure that out. Yeah, somebody has taken some treated posts and put them on. Huh, well, that's good. That's what my neighbor was saying too. She was like, well, sadly, there's probably looters that's already tried to go through and see what they can steal. He's so trained to take his shoes off so he doesn't slide around. And your socks. Good job. Shoes and socks. Good. High five. Now you won't fall down. Wow, so I almost completely forgot to end this video out, and that's because this brand new hot water tank that I put in started acting up because of the water that got in the bottom of it. If you guys remember, I just put this thing in. Well, you guys can see how brand new. And that was one of the first father-son thing. Like I did this with my boys and showed them how to hook one of these up and run the exhaust vent and stuff like that. But where the water got in the bottom of it, it didn't want to stay lit. And like I say, it's gonna trickle. We're gonna figure out slowly the result of everything that happened. This is another door that won't shut. I mentioned that to a business partner today. I said, man, I'm not trying to freak out, but the doors don't shut right anymore in the entire house. And he's like, dude, if I were you, I would call the insurance company immediately and not take no chances. But I don't know. I don't want to end it off on a negative note. We're gonna be positive, baby. We're gonna figure this out, right? I tell you what we're gonna do. What's the goal, man?
Get off the truck, baby.
Woo!